What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm taking a look at a movie which has recently come onto Netflix in 2024, and it does feel like an exact copy of the Amazon movie which came out a couple of years ago, and I did review that one on the channel as well. It is where they go, the main character is a girl who has a family member who has died in the past, and they go back in time to stop that death from happening and fail at the first couple, and then they rescue the rest and end up affecting the future. If I had a nickel for every time that story had been told, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it is strange that it's happened twice. It does go into the theory that you cannot create a new story because every story that is to be told has already been told, but, you know, this one does have its slight differences to the one that's on Amazon, and I don't even remember. I think the one on Amazon was called Totally Killer, and this one's called Time Cut, so there is slight differences. But without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say. So, Time Cut is a 2024 horror, suspense movie. I didn't even know that was a genre of movie, but sure. It has a 5 out of 10 at IMDb, a 24% at Rotten Tomatoes, and a 3 out of 10 on Screen Rant. It is 1 hour and 32 minutes, and you can watch it on Netflix. A teen in 2024 accidentally time travels to 2003, days before a masked killer murders his sister. His sister? It's actually her sister, so they got that shit wrong already. So let's go. Girl is living her shitty life and is complaining. She got a internship at NASA, and then her parents won't let it go because they're overprotective because they lost her daughter in a barn all the way back in 2003. They had her to try and fill the void that the first daughter left when she died. So when she ends up going back in time, she makes friends with a nerd defending him, makes friends with her sister, and goes to try and stop the first 2 from being killed. She fails. She then tells her 2 new buds, hey, this girl's gonna die next. They go and save her. Turns out her sister is in love with that girl, and they're like, oh shit, damn. They then, you know, have a little smooch and a little coming out sort of celebration at this party, and the other 2 fix the time machine, steal some nuclear compound from their dad's research facility, and there's the bingo ticket. The person that made the time machine is the killer, because they already went into that compound and stole 1 out of 3 jars of that compound. So, from the get-go, this murderer came from the future. Very similar to Totally Killer. Anyway, continuing on. Turns out the killer is the guy. The killer is the dude. And let's fucking go. I knew it was going to be that guy. He was the only one capable of being the killer. And that twist came as a shock first time watching it, but when it actually came, it made the most sense, and I completely understood. Anyway, they end up going back to the future and taking the murderer with them. She kills him in the future, and then she uses her spare tank to go back to the past and live out the rest of her days there. She doesn't Marty McFly, she just somehow exists there, but she does go to the future, and she doesn't exist in the future, so she basically has nowhere to go. She has no home. She has no place to belong, which is extremely strange. Gonna be honest, it is extremely strange. But sure, she lives out the rest of her days back in the past, in 2003. That's the story. Covered it in 4 minutes or less. I obviously skipped over some things, so you know, go check them out go check the movie out if you want to see the things that I skipped over. But the reason why I like this movie, the reason why I thought this movie was good, is the nostalgia. The nostalgia. I'm gonna be honest. I fucking love Skater Boy, and I love. Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? Avril Lavigne, whatever her name is, adore that shit. I was born in 2003. I don't know why I have nostalgia for back then, but I do. I was born that year. The style, the design of the sort of school, the way people dressed, all felt nostalgic and cool to me. I don't know why. I don't know why it did, but it did. I was watching it, I'm like, holy shit, they all look so cool. They look fly as all hell. And the music was banging. It was genuinely good for nostalgia, and I think that's why I liked it. it does seem that Netflix do have some of these younger actors tied by the fucking ankles, because these actors are in everything. The main guy plays a nerd in Tall Girl 1 and Tall Girl 2. And the other girl, guess what? The other girl, the main girl, she's in Outer Banks. So it does seem like these sort of Netflix actors are chained to Netflix properties, because this is a Netflix made movie, and I don't know why they're in all these Netflix stuff, but it kind of feels like a Disney Channel thing. It kind of feels like a step up from a Disney Channel kid, or Nickelodeon star, Nickelodeon sort of channel, because every sort of, or most actors who are on Disney Channel stay on Disney Channel and sort of branch out to other Disney Channel shows before stepping into the real world and becoming like Miley Cyrus or Sabrina Carpenter, where they have a big drastic change. Very similar to Nickelodeon stars as well, I'm going to be honest. Netflix doesn't really have that sort of breaking out thing. They just get picked up by other sort of major movie franchises like, you know, It or MCU. And I don't know, I just kind of think it's strange that every new Netflix show, Netflix movie, has the same sort of 7 actors and actresses in it. The writing for this movie does feel a little bit cheesy. I do apologize for that cough headphone users. I do apologize. Please stick with me though. It's a little bit cheesy with some of the writing and how some of them talk towards each other, and how it has some very stereotypical sort of writing in it, like, we have to do this, oh, he's right behind me, isn't he? Some of that very stereotypical, very cheesy, very cliche sort of horror movie tropes are very much used in this one. The mask isn't very scary, he's just a slasher, he's just a dude with a knife, and that's pretty much it. It's just a guy with a knife coming after all these students, and the reason for killing, his reason was so fucking shit, because she turned him down. She said no, and he was bullied when he was 18, and he was like, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna go back in time and kill you all. That is it. That is what he did. That is, he spent his entire life plotting this revenge. That is pathetic. That is so cheap, and such a shitty reason to go back in time and kill people because they were a dick to you in high school. That is such... This movie was going so well. I was enjoying it, I was happy with it, I thought it was cool, thought it was interesting, and I thought it was a lot better than Totally Killer. Until we got to revealing the killer. When we revealed the killer, it fucking plummeted, it nosedived, it went Sub-Zero, it went Subnautica, and I did not enjoy it. It completely tanked, and it just went from being decent to complete straight out cheesy and like straight up like boring and basic and standard horror movie substance, very sort of horror movie mush, which just feels like it's being churned out. And fair enough, Netflix aren't the most creative when making their original stories, but this one's like scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, this is literally just copying another movie, and it's like, hey, yeah, you can copy my homework, but change it up a little bit so people don't know you copied. That is exactly what this movie is. This is exactly what this movie is. And acting is great, music choice is fucking phenomenal, set design brilliant, costume design perfect, script, writing, it needs work. The actual story, yeah, could be better. Could very much be better. And I don't know, it just... It had me in the first half, not gonna lie. And when it got to the second bit, it started to be like, oh, so the kid... When it got to working out who the killer was, it felt so, like, planned out, and, like, so forced, and so... It didn't feel like it made sense. No one holds a grudge for that long. Like, I feel like that's unrealistic. No one spends their entire... They get thrown into a lake, and their crush laughs at them. Their crush then turns them down, and they're like, you know what, fuck you, I'm killing you now. That's it. You're a bitch. You're dead to me. Fair enough, they can be dead to you, but you're not actually going to make them dead to you, right? That's the difference. And he just didn't... The way his character was written throughout the whole story and like the whole beginning of the movie didn't feel like the character that was shown to us at the end. Maybe if it gave us sort of like slight details, slight teases that it was gonna be him, or he was gonna be the one. Like the bullying, he's a nerd. That's standard. I got bullied. It's standard. If you're a nerd, if you're against the norm, you're gonna get bullied. And plus it's 2003. The times were different back then. Everyone was bullying everybody. It's like, holy shit, I wasn't even born then, so I wouldn't know. I'm just making that shit up, but still. It just felt so jarring for him to be the villain. It just didn't make sense, like, story-wise, because he was just a completely different character in the end. And fair enough, he had, like, 40 years to build up that hatred. Not 40 years, like, 20 years to build up that hatred, to build up that sort of issue inside him, but it just felt cheap. It felt boring and very underwhelming. It wasn't a satisfying conclusion. And the whole sort of no consequences for her actions also felt cheap as shit. I don't know why she even went back in time. Like, fair enough, she has no future, but going back in time, no fucking way. Do that time travel shit. Like, invest in Google or something. Invest in Twitter. Instagram. Do something. Get some fucking earnings. Don't go to NASA. You have the whole world. You know what's coming out. You get to experience, like, Shrek on the big screen. In the cinema. That shit's wild. Go do stuff use that time travel to your advantage. You know, you have a time machine. Use it to your advantage. Do something, like, positive with it. You know?